Final Fantasy, Oblivion, Skyrim, Diablo. We can now list a new game with these illustrious role players, South Park: The Stick of Truth. This is the new role-playing game from Ubisoft, and it's up against stiff competition. The first thing that struck me when I played the game was how much it looks like the show. It looks so similar in fact that if I didn't have the controller in my hands, I would have sworn I was watching Comedy Central. The feel of South Park saturates everything in the game, from Cartman's house to the iconic South Park sign. Everything has been kept true to the vision of the show. Sure, it doesn't have the graphical fidelity of Skyrim or the excellent animations of the Final Fantasy series, but that's not the point. Ubisoft weren't trying to make a next-gen title. They didn't make a game to rival the graphics of Call of Duty Ghosts or Rise Son of Rome. What they set out to do, and have done in a spectacular way, was to bring us a South Park video game. The beginning of the game sees you pick your character. You play as New Kid, the newest resident of the town, and you're given your first quest by your parents. Go make some friends. From that one single mission, you're quickly transported into the make-believe world that the kids of the neighbourhood are playing in. You begin by finding Cartman in the kingdom of Koopa Keep, the human stronghold. It's here that you first see the Stick of Truth, the mystical totem that grants whoever wields it ultimate power. After a brief tutorial, you're attacked by a band of elves and the Stick of Truth is stolen. You then spend the rest of the game trying to get it back.
What? The Stick of Truth. The elves got it. That was your one goddamn job, Clyde! To guard the Stick of fucking Truth!
In typical South Park fashion, it's far from a simple kids game, and you soon find yourself thrown into government cover-ups, betrayal, and of course, Nazi zombies. Now I won't get into spoiler territory, but the plot is solid enough with plenty of cringe-worthy, guilty chuckles, exploration and side quests to keep you playing up to the 10-hour mark.
Yeah, that's gonna work better. Here we go.
The attention to detail that the creators have gone to is phenomenal. Some of the show's best running gags and one-off cameos go to provide brilliant distractions to the main quest line.
It's me, Al Gore. You know, Al Gore. I'm super important. Alright, look. I've detected some very strange activity in this area.
The controls are very straightforward and easy to get to grips with. The one exclusion to this, and it's probably just sheer lack of skill on my part, was blocking enemy attacks. I found that this was very hard to pull off on any but the most basic of attacks. One part of the game sees you travelling to Canada. When you get across the border, the game morphs into the same style as the old Pokemon games for the Game Boy Color that were out so many years ago. I have to admit that I enjoyed these sections for the sheer novelty. Once again, the soundtrack to the game is brilliant. It evokes tones of Final Fantasy, Lord of the Rings and Skyrim. It's a brilliant little touch that never lets you forget that you're in the make-believe world of elves and humans. I have to admit that when I first heard that pretty much everywhere except the US were to have censored versions of the game, I let out a sigh and wondered what horrible patch job or ramshackle attempt at continuity we were likely to get. Now I needn't have bothered. There were only a few scenes that were to be censored, and instead of completely succumbing to the wishes of the gaming gods, we have a screen of text telling us what is happening on the screen. I can't think of a better way this could have been done, and I feel that it was a massive middle finger for all censorship. There's two ways to look at South Park: The Stick of Truth. One is as a role-playing game, and as an RPG I found the game to be lacking in any true diversity and decision making. You don't ever get the chance to choose your own path, and the game only seems to have one conclusion. The combat is repetitive and the weapons are far too similar to provide any real change in playstyle. The majority of the missions amount to go to point A, speak with someone and then return. After a couple of hours, the seemingly endless trips from one end of the town to the other was wearing me down. There are moments that show the game was taking itself seriously as an RPG. The climax of the game had all the traits that any of the juggernauts of the genre share, and the trip to Canada had me almost crying with laughter. The second way to look at The Stick of Truth is as an interactive episode. If you look at this as simply an episode that you're able to take part in, it's brilliant. It has stayed true to the vision of the show, and it has everything that we would expect from an episode. You'll find yourself barking out a laugh before you can help yourself, and then guiltily looking around to see if anyone saw you. If you're a gamer and you want a truly epic RPG to spend your time on, don't bother with the South Park Stick of Truth game. If, on the other hand, you're a fan of the show or a casual gamer, then I'd suggest you buy this game. It is amazingly funny, the attention to detail has been staggering, and it is truly the closest thing to a South Park theme park we're likely to get. So whether or not this game is a true success or a complete failure depends entirely on your own point of view. For me personally, it's definitely worth a buy.